Legba, Yeshua, Ilegua, come out, Papa Legba, Yeshua, Ilegua, come out, Papa Legba, Yeshua, Ilegua, come out. 'Cause this is our land. Yes, we was here first. They came here on a boat. They'll leave here in a hearse. They'll leave here through the dirt. They're going through the earth. We're channeling their ancestors to undo their curse. 'Cause once upon a time, we all could read and write. That legalese is lies. Strong men spell curse of ties. Strong men all caps disguise. They've gentrified our lives. We've redefined their sights. We've redefined their kind. Yes, this is juju music. This shit here is voodoo music. This shit here is voodoo music. When you chant, they gonna lose it. Yes, this is juju music. This shit here is voodoo music. Yes, this shit is voodoo music. When you chant, they gonna lose it. When you chant, they gonna lose. Which ancestor you gon' choose? Play their game, but by our rules. I'm Queen Annie the Maroon. I am Queen of Dongo. I am Queen of Zinga. I am Yenaga. I'm Carlotta and Fermina. 'Cause this is juju music. This shit here is voodoo music. When you chant, they gonna lose. Which ancestor you gon' choose? 'Cause this is juju music. This shit here is voodoo music. When you chant, they gonna lose. Which ancestor you gon' choose? 'Cause I am a goddess. I am a priestess. I chant these mantras and they all repeat it. If we make a promise, this land we gon' seize it. Get vengeance for Mother Earth treason. This ain't the gentrifier. This for the gentrifiers. This for the gentrifiers. This for the gentrifiers. Repetition of empires. Invading land with gunfire. Slavery not hostess for hire. Income not what you desire. Outcome working jobs for hours. Mindset waiting to retire. Never stop working for dollars. 'Cause this is juju music. This shit here is voodoo music. Which ancestor you gon' choose? When you chant, they gonna lose. 'Cause this is juju music. This shit here is voodoo music. Which ancestor we gon' choose? When we chant, they gonna lose. I mean. My spirit guides come in with that sin. My ancestors defend. I got that juice to transcend. I mean. My spirit guides come in with that sin. My ancestors defend. I got that juice to transcend. 'Cause I am a Santi. I am a Santa. I am a host. I am a homie. I am a Tamba. Yes, I am a Tamba. 'Cause I am a Santi. I am a Santa. I am a host. I am a homie. I am a Tamba. Yes, I am a Tamba. Yes, this is juju music. This shit here is voodoo music. When we chant, they gonna lose. Which ancestor we gon' choose? Hey, choose. 'Cause when we chant, they gonna lose. Which ancestor we gon' choose?
Mess with the wrong witch, and she knows it. And now you know it. Bounce your shoulder, feel the vibe.
I ain't stressing today.
Yo,
I ain't stressing today.
bounce. You negative, well I ain't got time.
I ain't stressing today.
Yo,
I ain't stressing today.
bounce. Peace and love is on my mind.
I ain't stressing today. Hold
Yeah.
up. I ain't stressing today.
Bounce. I'ma tell you one more time.
I ain't stressing today.
Yeah.
I ain't stressing today.
Bounce. Watch my whip today, I buffed it up good with the shanty. Feeling good, think I might just pull up on my granny. We watch that Wheel of Fortune while we eat that church chicken. She tell me that she been thinking one day I'm gon' win a Grammy. I say now shout out to my barber, that boy on a mission. Got my line so crispy when I talk they pay attention. And my lady is so bad, swear she was born in her bag. Had to give her extra cash to go tip her beautician. Like how you look that good, I'm about to show you off, let's cruise up through my neighborhood. You said my partner tried to holler, boy I wish he would. You know what, I ain't even much tripping. I'm confident in me, so can't nobody catch me slipping. And don't call me.
Peace, y'all. Welcome to the Hump Day Reading. I'm excited to be here. Happy Leo season. Happy Leo season. You know, the sun entered the Vedic Leo energy on on the 18th. Yes. So we are 5 days into the Leo season energy. Very happy to be here. So yeah, happy Leo season, y'all. Happy Virgo season to my tropical Virgos out there. I am a tropical Virgo and a Vedic Virgo at the same dang time. You know, gang off in this thing. In addition to that, yeah, quite a few different things happening. We got a lot of retrogrades going on right now in this space. You know, for those of you guys who don't know, a retrograde simply is every planet has its own orbit, and not everybody's orbit is like a complete like 360 circle. A lot of them are ovals. You have ascending and descending energy with the orbit and stuff like that. So certain like I guess orbits, like when they go through certain like time and space, you know, there's some resistance there, you know. So that's why the retrogrades usually happen around the same time every year, because it's like, oh, we're in this space again over here. And so it just so happens that Mercury has like 4 retrogrades in a year, because Mercury moves so fast, you know. Venus has about 3 or 4 a year because Venus moves so fast. Earth has about 3 or 4 a year because Earth moves so fast. So we usually have 4, and that's the equinoxes and the solstices. You'll notice that, you know, the time and day, it gets equal and then it gets uneven again. And that's a lot to do with that. Earth does go into retrograde as well around those times. So it's like 3 or 4 times a year. It's really cool. So happy retrograde season to y'all. We have, what do we have in retrograde right now? We have Venus in retrograde, and that started July 22nd and it's going on until September 3rd, which is interesting because soon as Venus stops, that's when Jupiter starts. Jupiter's retrograde starts September 4th. No, retrogrades are fun. We love retrogrades. They give us a chance to like rehash some things that we didn't, you know, do right or do the way we wanted to do the first time, or you get your last hurrahs. Like I started being in charge of my Mercury retrogrades. Like ain't nobody finna slide up in my DMs and ruin my space. I'm finna slide up in yours and interrupt your space. That's where I'm at now. Mercury has horns for a reason, and I'm finna use mine. I'm not, Mercury retrograde does not control me. I control the Mercury retrograde. I'm here to create havoc. That's what I do. Anyway, I got tired of the Mercury retrogrades like feeling bigger than me. I really did, because me and Mercury, we supposed to be cool. Like I came out of Mercury. I got like 7, 8, 9, 11 placements in Virgo that are all in my first and second house. So like y'all all up in my energy. Y'all better be my friend out there. I don't got time for that. So it's just like empowering yourself over top of it. And, you know, Venus is sitting inside of, Venus is in the Leo zodiac energy and in the Cancer constellation energy. So you have this space that, you know, rules over our heart chakra, which is our money and our love life, our compassion, forgiveness, you know, what we want in a relationship. And it's sitting in our third eye. You know, Leo and Cancer is the left and right side of the third eye. And so you have the internal stimulation going on and the external stimulation. And this is beautiful because, you know, Venus is all about materialization as well. So like this is a beautiful abracadabra here with like really speaking things into existence. And if you want assistance with your personal Venus, you know, placement, you know, feel free to put it in the comments like, my Venus is placed here. What does that mean? I'm here for it. But yeah, with it being on those sides, like I will say like, my Venus is in Virgo on the tropical chart. So in alignment with the Venus and Leo energy, it's like fire to my earth. And it's my mutable earth at that. So I can, you know, with mutable earth energy, it's like you can either go with the flow of things or you can, you know, fall back on it. But because I love Leo so much, I'm falling into it. I'm finna go get my hair done. Your Venus is in Aquarius. So it's just, okay, so with that Venus and the Leo is going to do for you, because Leo is fire energy and you're moving around in the airspace. And then you're moving in the airspace of detachment and social awareness and things like that. And Leo is very like, you know, clingy and loyal energy. And I am the sun and revolve around me. And so that's what Venus wants us to do right now. It's my time. I don't care what other planets y'all looking around, but it's my time now. I'm moving a little bit slower than usual. So y'all realize it's my time, marinate in my time, etc., etc. So you know, with that type of energy you got going on, it's just, you know what air does, the fire makes the fire bigger. So I would say be mindful of people who have fire placements. People with Venusian fires, you know, can touch your air, will make their fire bigger. And that could be a good thing. It depends on where they're at in their journey. It could be a good thing, you bringing that air to their fire, because it might be some things that they are supposed to be materializing and stuff like that. And then you're also a projector. So like, you know, you being around other like fire Venusian spaces, that'll help, you know, them in their realms of materialization, because fire trying to materialize by itself is sometimes difficult. You know, sometimes it's difficult to get a fire started on its own without help. You need wood, you need some earth, you need some air, you know, you need things. And then also, you know, just being mindful of what fire does to you. Like fire makes air expand even more. So that could be like more detached. That could be, you know, removing you from certain realities, removing you from certain spaces and stuff like that. And that can be like frustrating as well. So that's the alignment with your Venus, you know, placement in that, in the collective Venus placement. Also, you know, being in that space of expanding and getting hotter and stuff like that, grounding yourself is key here. You know, staying in some of your earth energy, create some boundaries, go back down to your root chakra with, you know, establish your root chakra and your heart chakra, because you can be everywhere. You can be all over the place with that energy, wanting to do a little bit of everything. Oh, I want this. No, I really don't want this. I want that. I want this. You know, and we know Venus is in the third eye. So every little thing you say you want or you don't want, it's going to, you know, show up in your simulation in some way or another. So that's the third eye vibes. So we do have Venus in retrograde. I did want to pull a card for everybody for the Venus in retrograde. Again, if you guys have a question about the different retrogrades and alignments of the planets to your planets, let me know. So for the, we got a 10 of Pentacles. Okay. I don't really like the background of, the background on a, okay. So I can't really put this on close up because it keeps blocking me out. So we know 10 is the number of completion, and Pentacles is that energy of materialization. And that, like I said, like, you know, as you're speaking things into existence and doing and saying, oh, I want this, I want that, etc., like those things are happening because of how Venus is spread between the right and left side of the third eye, which is the creator of the simulation that we're in. So, you know, be mindful of the things you want to speak into existence. Be mindful of like how fire expands all of us, you know, into different directions, and how Aquarius is kind of like already in different directions at the same time anyway. So, you know, all that stuff matters. And then, okay, so that's what we have in retrograde from July to September. What else do we have in retrograde? Also in July, Chiron and Aries went into retrograde. Now, both of these celestial bodies are in the solar plexus area. So, they're both in Aries, so it's new beginnings. Chiron is how you transmute your wounds into a strength. You know, and Aries is that Amazonian feminine energy, and different stories about Aries. Aries has been in Aries since 1925. You know, you see the expansion of women, you know, more Liliths, less Eves. You see the divine feminine energy even infiltrating the men culture, you know, and they don't know what to do with it because they've been raised their whole life. You know, boys don't cry, boys aren't supposed to feel, boys aren't supposed to do this, whatever. So men aren't really getting that proper guidance to this feminine energy that's arising in them. So they're doing what they think they're supposed to be doing. Good luck with it, because they don't listen anyway. Anyway, I got my own sons and they actually listen to an extent. So I will, you know, speak to anybody that's open to receiving me, but it seems like a lot of this, you know, feminine energy that's infiltrating the masculines, you know, it's being misused and mishandled. And so, you know, I'm praying for y'all. But it is definitely rising in the women, and I love to see y'all, you know, being top in you know, higher education and entrepreneurship, and you know, I do see men transmuting that feminine energy in the spiritual community. A lot of them are going inward into the spiritual community, you know, really tapping into themselves, and that's beautiful. You know, you see women, you know, rising above all different facets of business. regardless, if you agree with that facet of business or not, it doesn't matter. It's just pay attention to the fact that the feminine energy is rising above that energy right there, and they're taking it over, whether it's, music, the television, law and order, politics, even the churches and the temples and all that stuff. Like, women are rising. And it's a beautiful thing to say. I love it here. So that's what we have with, Aries being an Aries is a new beginning for the divine feminine. And then also Aries has entered Aries on the Vedic chart. Peace on the Vedic chart starting June 4th. That was the day that, Aries entered Aries on the Vedic chart. So now we have like a whole nother 100 something years of Aries and Aries. So more divine feminine energy rising, in the different facets of business and education, and, within our, women and men, just more feminine energy everywhere. And it's going to be great. And this is like the Amazonian feminine energy. I don't know if you guys ever watched Xena the Warrior Princess, but Aries is in alignment with the energy of Xena the Warrior Princess, and that woman that she was, paired with is in alignment with the moon that's in alignment with Aries. So Aries is like the feminine Aries energy. So it's kind of like Aries is in its home space. So you have this Amazonian feminine energy. And this is why I saw somebody post recently, like, a lot of you guys read tarot and stuff, but y'all so angry. This is Aries. This is Aries and Aries. It's not going to come out nice. This is in a divine alignment with what the planets are doing and how they're moving. It's not going to be nice at first. It's going to be warrior-like, because the feminine energy has been suppressed in men and women alike. This is not a man-woman thing. This is a feminine energy thing. So this feminine energy has been suppressed in the man and in the woman, because the woman wasn't allowed to be feminine. Especially today, we're not allowed to be feminine, because to be feminine means to be needy. Now you're a gold digger. Now you can't do nothing for yourself. What do you bring to the table? Like, why are we talking about this? Why are we talking to each other like this? We're spiritual beings talking to each other like we ain't shit. And I think that's so wild to me and disgusting. But, do you, boo? I'm not a fan of any of that. We all have feminine and masculine energy. And it's just, we've lived in a heavy, I won't call it patriarchal. We've lived in a heavily masculine realm where it's only been okay to be masculine. It's only okay to be external and extroverted and have experiences and just be EX on everything, and to go inward and be quiet and, be feminine and be tapped into your emotions and intuition. That's the boogeyman. That's demonic. You can't listen to spirits. You can't, talk to the voices in your head. You're crazy. Like, the feminine energy has been broken down in so many ways. You know what I'm saying? When you take a step back and really look at it. So I love the fact that Aries and Chiron have been, in alignment with each other in Aries, because Aries is assisting Chiron. New beginnings to our wounds, right? Warrior-like energy to our wounds. And us as a collective, we have a lot of wounds, whether it's the feminine energy wounds or the other different classifications that have been bestowed upon us by our oppressors. And those are the classifications of race, ethnicity, and nationality. Those aren't things that we chose for ourselves. We originally were tribal and familial. This is my lineage. That's why we used to have a family Bible, was to show our lineage in alignment to, the different lineages that have been historically going on tribally, because our tribes were being broken up. Like, if I had a baby and my baby just so happened to have blonde hair and blue eyes, because we know that the Aboriginal woman has the ability to give birth to every phenotype and genotype. So if I decided to have a baby and my baby just so happened to have blonde hair and blue eyes, they would take my baby away from me and say, oh, this is a white baby, and put it with other white people, and then, desensitize them accordingly. Or if I had a brown baby that had straight hair and, heavy eyelashes and all that stuff, which I do. I got a baby that look Asian right now. They would easily take Zeke out of my hands and be like, oh yeah, put that man over there and Mali. Miles would be over here in South America, because that boy looked Panamanian hard as hell. Like, that's how they were looking at you, saying, oh, you look like this, so you're gonna go over here with the other people that look like you, and you're gonna go with other people. It wasn't light skin, dark skin. It wasn't that cut and dry. It was it was what we see now, what we call races and what we call ethnicities and what we call nationalities. Those all were oppressed upon us. Peace. If you would like a card pull for you, go ahead and comment in the comment section and I'll pull a card for you. At this moment, we talking about retrogrades and things. So, you know, that was the establishment. And that stuff didn't get established until 1775. So that's the same age as this country. The individuals, you know, granted, you know, the war had been going on. The war is still going on. This is the longest war ever. This shit been going on since the 1400s, the 1300s or whatever. And it's 2023. Like, oh my God, yawn, the fuck. Anyway, but now we're in a spiritual, like they really try to break us down on many facets. So they try to break us physically, breaking us mentally, and now they're trying to break us spiritually. So now we're in the realms of the spiritual war. A war going on. You know, it's kind of like World War 9.9 right now. When, you know, they don't really like give light to every battle and war they face because they've been losing. You know, if they were winning, everybody would be under their spell, under their medicines, under their air, under their water, under their, you know, alchemy. But we're not. So they're not winning. This isn't what it was supposed to look like in their eyeballs. Okay. So all that to say, we do collectively have a lot of wounds and we are all tapping into our divine feminine energy to heal these wounds. So, you know, kudos to y'all. And this is not just soft feminine energy. This is angry woman. This is the Amazonian woman energy. So being in the presence of an angry woman, understand it and understand that it's not directed at you unless you directly did something. You know what I'm saying? Just know that this is the energy. This is what we got going on till 2044 on the tropical chart, and then for another 100 years after that in the Vedic chart, because it just entered. So if it entered in 1925 on the tropical chart and it enters in 2023 on the Vedic chart, so that means that until like 2065, Aries is going to be in this Aries energy until we get into the not 2065, 2165 until we get into like the Piscean energy with Aries, you know, all the divine feminine energy is going to go right into the subconscious realm. That's going to be a beautiful sight to see. But right now we in the angry woman space, you know, and it's necessary. It's necessary, especially for the spiritual war. You need an Aries for a spiritual war. You know, because Aries is the feminine energy, which is spirit, which is internal energy. And it has to be a warrior form for the spirit. Otherwise, you're just sitting there getting your behind beat. And that's not fun. So for Chiron and Aries to be in retrograde, it's a lot of like rehashing over different situations that invoke that warrior feminine energy in you. You know, I'm going to put you back in certain situations. I'm going to have you have energy exchanges again with certain people to see if you're going to react the same. And one thing about sunshine is 9 times out of 10, I'll probably react the same. That's you know, because I do a lot of thinking. I think very hard and I think very clear about how I react to something the first time. And then sometimes if I do go back, you know, like I was saying earlier, like the Mercury retrograde for me, baby, I'm sneaking up in everybody's inbox like, hey, big head, how you been? But, you know, it always brings me back to certain realizations. Like, yeah, this is why I felt this way the first time. Peace. Welcome. If you like a card pull for you, go ahead and comment in the chat. But yeah, so Chiron and Aries being in retrograde, we just, you know, you're going to find yourself, you know, back in, and it might not always be the same person, same exact situation, same exact place or anything. It might be peace. If you would like a card pull for you, go ahead and comment in the chat and I'll pull a card for you, beloved. It could be just like a different person, but the same situation. But you have to have that level of awareness to say, oh, you remind me of such and such, and I've been here already. I already know how this finna go. And don't let nobody question it about you, because if you go back and you allow somebody to put you in a space where you second guess it, like you're going against your ears. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want nobody to have power over you so well to where you questioning your own intuition. Like, don't do that to yourself. So Chiron and Aries have been in retrograde since July. Chiron in July 23rd and Aries July 21st. And Chiron is going to be in retrograde again. We're talking about our wounds and transmuting our wounds into a strength. That's going to be in retrograde until December 27th. And then Aries is going to be in retrograde. That's the divine feminine energy. And that's happening until January 11th, 1/11. And I like those numbers, 111. That's really cool. So I'm gonna pull a card for this retrograde Aries and Chiron for the collective. Then I got you Timmy, and then I got you Lasia. Okay. So the first card I'm gonna pull for an Ace of Pentacles. So I've been pulling a lot of Pentacle cards lately. I don't really like the background when I'm trying to do stuff. But this is the Ace of Pentacles, and it's really like, you know, rising above what we create here and what we manifest here. Because like we really are in a really nice space of creation and manifesting, especially with the sun entering Virgo energy, which is all about like, toiling the soil, agricultural realms, materializing. Now we're in the mutable energy of materializing. But we were also in the Leo energy on the Vedic scale with the simulation creation. So just like being able to stand, overstand that and overstand that you're in charge of your simulation. So however way you want things to fold out, you have control over that. It's just you got to have patience and trust. And that also comes back to the Aries. You have to have patience and trust, because if I manifest something, if I say I want something for myself, I have to trust that me saying that I want it is going to give it to me. And that's not just, oh, I said it, so now I'm about to sit on the couch and wait for it to be handed to me. No, I'm also putting in the work. Manifest means the festival of the hands. Mani is hands. Fest is festival. So, it's work aligned with that, but I'm trusting my work. I'm trusting my work. And then there's some things that I can't see. When you pull the world card, right? I got to trust that other people are having experiences that they need to have so that they can align with my experience. And that opens up different portals for me to have the things that I want to have, right? Like I say, I want more clients. In order for me to have more clients, I need more people to have certain kind of awakenings and certain kind of experience that say, hey, I need somebody to help me align my stars or my chakras, or hey, I want to go to like a spiritual therapist, or, I want to listen to some affirmation music. Like I need someone to have certain experiences that pull that out of them. Otherwise, But and then in the meantime, I'm putting my energy out there. I'm putting my work out there. I'm putting awareness that I exist out there. You get what I'm going? That's an example. Anyway, so let's pull this card for Timmy. I got you, love. I got an 8 of Cups for you, love. Transformation in your emotional sense. Transformation happening. Water has everything to do with the feminine energy. And, I love that it's also water, because 8 and water also in alignment with the solar plexus chakra, which is, Oya, or Scorpio energy, Pluto energy. So, really learning how to stand in your power is important for you. Having transformations in your feminine energy and that water energy in your space right now is important for you. Really working on your solar plexus chakra placements. And I believe I did a reading for you. So go back to the charts and go to the solar plexus chakra placements. And this is also in alignment with that Chiron and Aries on the collective. So, what do we have? We don't have anything in Scorpio on the tropical chart at the moment, or the Vedic chart at the moment. We just not in Scorpio season yet. Give us like a couple more months when we are around Libra season, in Scorpio. But we just had a Scorpio moon on Monday. So, I know I was feeling it. But yes, also your Cancer energy as well, transformations in that space and learning how to like stand in your power, because this is him rising up with the cups, He's rising up, there's power in that, all that fun stuff. So transformation, solar plexus energy to you. Stand in your power, boo. So Lasia, I'm going to pull a card for you. Oh, you a Virgo? I'm a Virgo too. Hey, Virgo gang. Lasia, what I got for you is a reverse 8 of Wands. So Wands is fire, and that's coming into a space. So like on the Vedic chart, I don't know how in tune you are with your Vedic space, but check your degrees. If your degrees is less than 23 in the tropical Virgo, more than likely you're a Vedic Leo, and you're in alignment with the sun being in the Leo constellation right now. At the same token, right now, 8 is a realms of transformation. Reverse means we're not there yet, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to get there or whatever. It just means that there's space. You just haven't touched this yet. But transformation and empowerment to your action, because Wands fire is all about action, getting it done, being motivated and things like that. And you just need transformation in that space. so you can learn to rise above it. Right now, it's a lot of closure and standing behind swords, which is wounds. So you've been standing behind certain wounds to prevent you from moving forward, some overthinking there, some self-doubt there and stuff. And a lot of that has nothing to do with you. Those might be thoughts you might be absorbing from other people around you, whether they're things that people have said directly to you or just you catching thoughts out the air and adopting them for yourself. But be mindful of that. You want to upright this 8, provide transformation to your action self and, move in that space. So that's what I got for you. Peace. If you would like a card pull for you, go ahead and comment in the comment section. I'm just talking about the retrogrades, this retrograde season. So Chiron and Aries. Now, what else we got in retrograde? Saturn went in retrograde. That happened June 17th. So I think that's like the oldest retrograde beginning that we have right now. Yeah, because we have Saturn and then we have Neptune June 30th. So Saturn and Neptune are both in Pisces energy. Excuse me. On the tropical chart. Neptune is in Pisces on the Vedic chart as well. Let me see where Saturn is. I want to say Saturn is on the Pisces on the Vedic chart as well, but I want to check. Let me check my planetary forecast slide because I don't know off the top of my head. That's why I do notes so that I can figure it out. You're welcome, love. But Neptune is all about, tapping into your subconscious, really walking into the spiritual realm, realizing that you're not a physical body, but you're a condensed non-physical body. You just condense so much that you appear to be physical or whatever. But in reality, you're not really here. Nothing's really here. This is the deep thinking on that level. That is Piscean energy. And that's why Piscean energy is so sensitive and open because of that level of awareness that, bro, we're not really here. I'm not really here. This is energy, your energy on my energy, this energy over here on this energy. This is like very deep thinking over here in this realm of things. And so, Neptune is here on the tropical and on the Vedic side of things. And just to remind y'all that Neptune rules over Pisces. So this like Neptune is in its home space. So, grand spiritual awakenings are happening here. And that's very exciting. I know some people are getting like triggered and hopefully it's triggering you to want to like join along. But, it's not a trend. It's not a fad. What's happening is people are following the cosmos. But what's also what's also happening is while people are following the cosmos, there's no guidance here, or there is guidance. However, there's some trauma and toxicity within the guidance. And then there's some misconceptions within the guidance. You have a lot of these young people that are in the solar plexus as well as in the heart chakra phases and stages of their life. Every 7 years is a different chakra stage. So, that solar plexus chakra stage is from like 21 to like 28. And then the heart chakra is like 29 to like 35, 36. So you have these two groups. These are the 80s and 90s babies and the early 2000 babies. And they're going through like a grand spiritual experience. Now, what kind of spiritual experience they're going through is varying. You see some people walking into Christianity. You see a lot more of that on television because, it's marketable. People are still scared of tarot cards. You see some people, moving into the Hebrew realm and the tribes of Judah and all those things. You see people coming into, okay, I don't really want to identify with an exact religion or a discipline. I just want to recognize the fact that I'm a spirit having a human experience and I want to be in control of my simulation. You have a lot of that going on. So that's a lot of that like level of spiritual awakening that's happening with Neptune being in Pisces on the tropical and Vedic chart. And, they're raising babies that are being born into families that are like, hey, we already spiritual, so they're never going to know life without that until they start to create a life. If they decide to create a life without that, you get what I'm saying? So you have a lot of that going on. On the other side of the coin, Piscean energy also deals with like, delusions and illusions. When you get too far deep into, the subconscious, you can kind of drive yourself nuts. I always think about that monkey, and I want to say Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. It was a monkey, or was it Whoville? I forget. but they had a monkey, and he was by himself for so long that he kind of drove himself crazy. Like, you know, quote unquote crazy. He wasn't really crazy, but like he talked to himself a lot, and he answered like they gave like the crazy energy, and that's what happens when you go too far deep. It's like a sunken place, you know. Now you're losing sight of where you're at and what you're doing, and you really want like a nice, you know, middle ground. You want to be, you know, there's a reason why the Pisces symbol has two lines and then a line going straight through it. You want to be the line going straight through it. You know what I'm saying? So not necessarily the line going up or down, but the line going in the middle, going straight through it, more so in alignment with like Libra scale type energy. So Pisces, I mean, Neptune has been in this realm since 2012. And we know 2012 was like a grand awakening for a lot of people as well. You know, that happened February 14th, 2012 at that. And so Neptune will be in Pisces on the Vedic chart. I mean, not the Vedic, the tropical chart until 2026. So we have a few more years, you know, that's like a 14-year span. So because Neptune just entered Pisces in like a couple months ago, we will have Neptune in the Pisces constellation until like 2037. So like more grand awakenings is different levels to it, whether it's a grand awakening happening with the tropical and Vedic in alignment, with just the Vedic or with just the tropical, is different levels. You know, the tropical is all about your thoughts. The Vedic is about your vibration in your heart. So some of you guys, you know, have the beauty of, you know, being in alignment right now with having both. Some of you guys have one right now because you're still dealing with the delusions and indoctrinations of the other one. And that's because of, like, you know, you grow up in a society that kind of separates you from being spiritual. Whether it's the religious books that teach you that you're a man or a woman born in sin and everything is physical. They got you singing at low vibrational hymns that have you, you know, bringing things into fruition as, you know, death and stuff like that, you know, doing certain like death, like, you know, rituals and stuff like that. So, you know, a lot of people have a lot of that energy still like near and dear to their minds and hearts. So that is what Saturn is doing in Pisces. So Saturn creates like different challenges and experiences that you need to recreate new disciplines and orders and ways of doing things, you know. There's been a lot of illusions and delusions created in our realms that say, hey, you know, you can't really accumulate goods and services without these debt notes. Like, y'all don't even know what money looks like. Y'all never seen money a day in your life. Money has never existed at all in my existence. I don't know when the last time we had money. We have debt notes. None of this shit is real. You know, it's some shit somebody made up. So, you know, having that level of realization has a certain level of power. Also, a lot of people be coming into the realization that we don't have a government. We don't have a government. We have a corporation. That's why a lot of you guys think that going outside with like signs and screaming at people is effective, and it's not. It's not, because you're not a lobbyist. You're not on the board of their corporation. You're nowhere on the board of the corporation. You don't invest. You're not an investor. You have no say in what they do with their corporation. What you can do is you can unsubscribe. And a lot of people fail to realize that they can unsubscribe. A lot of people are fighting against the mindset of unsubscribing, and that's fine. You could do all that. Saturn is here in Pisces for me then. And I'm unsubscribing to everything. No more none of this, you know, not in my mailbox, not in my emails. So, you know, that is, you know, what Saturn is doing. Saturn is also assisting people with, you know, boundaries, authority spaces, you know, infrastructure, how y'all structuring yourselves, you know, and it's not just on a governmental or corporation level or legal manners or whatever. It's also in the realms of business. A lot of CEOs step down, you know, from their businesses the last couple years, the last 3 or 4 years or so, you know. What else? Because that's when Saturn was in Aries and all of that. You know, it was a lot of people stepping down from their businesses, a lot of, you know, retribution going on in those realms and stuff like that when Saturn was in Capricorn. You know, it's when Pluto was in Capricorn. We'll get into Pluto in a moment because Pluto's doing her damn thing. I love you, Oya. But, you know, Saturn is over here, you know, with the scales, because, you know, Jesus Christ. Why is it? Oh, Babalao. I was like, why is his name not coming to me? Babalao walks around with the scales to see if you light as a feather. It's kind of like, you know, the alignment I've been creating a lot lately. Thankful to Kai Zodiac and Do the Knowledge Radio is shown enough, you know, from The Last Dragon. and going around telling people, asking people questions. And if he didn't like your answer, you had to kiss a Converse or whatever. And that's, the same energy. He even had the root chakra colors on. But, a lot of that is, putting a light, shedding a light on the people that have been creating these delusions in your life. My teachers have been teaching me incorrectly. My parents have been teaching me incorrectly. People at my church have been teaching me incorrectly. These politicians, everybody's been teaching incorrectly, and it's coming to light. It's coming to fruition. Retribution is being served. Hold on 1 second, because I gotta turn this stove off. I'm burning stuff. So now I'm going to pull a card for the Saturn and the Neptune that are both in retrograde and are Piscean energy. Oh, Spirit won 2 cards. So we got the King of Pentacles. I guess we're going to keep pulling Pentacles, and that's cool. I like Pentacles. So we have the King of Pentacles here. So, standing on top of those manifestations, again, standing on top of, this is Saturn energy definitely here. As far as empowering yourself, you're really I think that's the message overall is you're really in control of your simulation. You really have to learn how in control you are and how much of effect you have. You just have to be very focused, very patient and direct. If this is something that you really want, work towards it, put your energy towards it, put your mindset and your heart set towards it and stuff like that. And understand that a lot of the things that's happening around you is people are really scrambling to stay in their space of still having the wool over your eyes. Not a lot of people benefit from you seeing through the smoke on the mirrors. They don't. So it's going to be a lot of people in your space that are even people in your personal people, you're friends, family, or whatever. They're going to try to talk you out of it because you being in control of your paradigm, it threatens them in their paradigm. You're really taking control of your life. Then that means that this whole time I could have taken control over mine and I didn't. It's a level of intimidation there, that happens. So you absorbing ridicule or insults and stuff like that. And that's because this person doesn't fully know how to walk into their own shit yet. So they, beating you down for walking in yours. Yours just seems so outlandish. I see it all the time. I've experienced it personally. We also have the Lovers card here, a lot of illusions and delusions in spaces of relationship building, familial spaces and stuff. I personally say just do what you want to do. I'm not a big fan of all the different wars that are going on the internet about, oh, you should have multiple partners, or you should have one, or I'm not arguing with nobody. What do you like? What do I like? Let's see if our likes, get along, and if they don't get along, then they don't. It's that simple. It can always be that simple, but I think a lot of people like to be correct. And, a lot people complain about being oppressed and having energy over them. But then the moment or the opportunity they get to oppress other people with their ideals, their thoughts and their emotions, they really jump to it. Oh, I hate that this is telling me what to do, but I'm about to tell y'all what to do because I got a podcast. I think that's fucked up. Don't do that. You're no better than the energy that you're trying to unravel around you. But this goes a lot in the realms of love and relationships. I don't know if there's a Piscean out there or somebody that's ruled by Neptune or something. Y'all needed this reading. But just be mindful. What you want is what you want. It's going to be a lot of energy out there that's going to try to challenge you for what you want, especially on the internet, because the phones are getting to the space now where before you used to have to say words for the phone to hear you. Now you don't have to say anything. Now you can just think shit and the phone can hear you. So if you thinking dang, there's no good men in the world or there's no good women or whatever, you open up your phone, that's all you're going to attract. And any timeline that you go to is the war, the gender wars, the relationship wars, or different things proving your point, or different things encouraging you to keep that mindset. And we don't want that here. We got to bring back the tribes, and there's no tribal unity if we over here arguing over asinine things. I don't have to be in a relationship with you, especially not a romantic relationship with you, to build with you. And I think that's the biggest fallacy of them all. With a lot of people is they feel like they can't do anything for the youth unless they're dating the mother or the father. They can't do anything for the woman or the man unless they're sleeping with them. Otherwise, they're a beggar or this is whatever. And I just, I'm grateful that because I create that kind of simulation for myself, that is coming into fruition around me, and I'm attracting other people that think the same way I think. You know what I'm saying? And that's the power, and that's what that Neptune and that Saturn and retrograde in that space is going to do for you. A lot of unraveling of your discipline and order and how you manifest and how you accumulate things, and a lot of unraveling on these different relationships in your life. Whether it's the relationships you have with your different selves inside of you, the different people around you, people you love, all that stuff, it matters. Peace, y'all. Welcome. If you would like a card pull for you, go ahead and comment below, and I will pull a card for you. What else do we got in retrograde? So we talked about Saturn and Neptune. And remember, they started their retrograde back in June. So Saturn will be in retrograde until November 4th. And then Neptune will be in retrograde until December 6th. So those are happening there. Then we did the July ones already. Oh yeah, Pluto is actually the oldest retrograde. Okay, I got you, John. Let's pull a card for John right now, and then we're gonna get into Pluto. Because I can talk about Oya forever. I got the Hierophant for you. And I have it in reverse. So it is an energy of standing in your power. It's just being mindful of the energy that you utilize while you're standing in your power. You don't want to stand in your power with a spiteful energy or in spite of, like, I'm doing this to prove people wrong. Yeah, that's empowering. But remember, once people start saying nice things and start uplifting you, then why are you going to keep going in that direction with that kind of emotion? It no longer stands anymore. Like, you're not around people that are bad mouthing you or doing all this crazy stuff anymore. So you don't have to keep like moving like that. You don't have to keep speaking like that. You know what I mean? You could stand on your 2 feet in a peaceful way. You could stand on your 2 feet out of love. Like, yo, I'm doing this because I love myself and I want to see the kind of, reality that I want to live in. You know what I'm saying? I want peace. You see, he got the 2 fingers, this is the actual peace sign with the 2 fingers together, the unity. So like, you want to be upright in this realm, but right now you're down here. And it is not saying that, okay, I got you, comment if y'all want a card pull. But yeah, it's not that, you're not staying on your own 2 feet or that you're not standing in your power. It's just the energy behind it, the motivation behind you standing on your power. You want to transmute that a little bit. You want to be a little bit more peaceful in your realms with it. All right, Bree, I see you over there. I'm going to pull a card. Just trying to work. Oh, okay, thank you. All right, so Pluto. Let's talk about Pluto. Pluto has been in retrograde since May 1st. And prior to it being in retrograde, it had entered Aquarius on March 23rd. 3/23/23 is when Pluto entered Aquarius. Now, this whole wishy-washy realm, because right now we're in a weird space between Aquarius and Capricorn, both being root chakra energies. And I love, how, like, okay, it's so many things around because we're about to have a blue moon, and I'll get into that later. But we started this month with our full moon in Capricorn and Aquarius in the waxing and waning realm. So, that even our internal energy was feeling that Oya vibe, water on water, Cancer on Scorpio, whatever, right? So the last time Scorpio was in these degrees between Capricorn and Aquarius was in 1775, around 1775-ish, when we were talking about earlier with Chiron and Aries, when those different wounds were created, dividing us between races and ethnicities and nationalities based upon the corporations they built around us. It's kind of like, it's a corporation. You signed up to be a corporation. You get a special name. Like, you signed up to be on Facebook. They give you an avatar. That's basically a straw man. And now as this avatar or the straw man on Facebook, you get to do whatever you want all day and but you still have to abide to Facebook's community, terms and conditions. And if you don't, there's repercussions. You get blocked, you get shadow banned, you can't get monetized, you can't do certain things, you know, and sometimes it's other humans that have avatars that are making the rules, and sometimes it's just this like the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain that, you know, is AI, you know. It has to be AI because they don't really go over everything. So AI is so flawed. But in those kind of realms, AI is so flawed to me. But you know, those kind of things happening, and it's preventing, you know, you from operating how you want. And that's essentially what this corporation does that we call a country. This is not a government, this is a corporation, and that's what's happening. They created a straw man for you. And no, yes, they did inform people, but no, they also didn't inform people, because it's your responsibility to get the knowledge. It's not, they provide the knowledge, but they're not going to tell you where to find it. And that's why you see people like, oh, you know, you're making movies bigger than they are. You're making books bigger than they are. And it's like, no, we're not. You know, this is, nobody said how they had to give us the information. They just said they had to give us the information. That's a part of the contract. You can't just switch up the terms and conditions of our contract and not tell me what's going on or why or whatever, because I'm a subscribed member. But remember that you're a subscribed member. That means that you're a consumer. You're not a producer here. You don't produce shit here. You consume, right? So basically everything you're getting charged for is like you're paying them for their services in your space. You're paying them for their existence in your space to keep things orderly. That comes back to Saturn being in Pisces, you know, reestablishing how y'all can obtain y'all basic resources. And then Oya, Pluto is like, I got one better for y'all. Because y'all know Pluto is extreme as shit. Pluto, see, the thing about Pluto is y'all got to stay out of her way. Because by y'all still being under the illusions and delusions of, oh, I lived here all my life, I have to stay in this house and I have to keep going to this job no matter what Oya is doing outside of my window, is wild. Like, we used to be nomadic for a reason. I'm going to get out the way, let you create the fire or the water or the air or the snow, whatever the fuck it is you're trying to create on the land right there, because we asked for it. Y'all asked for water on the West Coast. Every year we ask for water on the West Coast. It gets so dry. So now there's water. Every year we have a fire season. Every year we have hurricane season. Y'all got to get up with the netters. That is the ultimate space. Aligning yourself with nature and the cycles of nature is so important, because if you do not, you're going to allow the news to make it seem like everything is a surprise catastrophe. Because that's how they deliver everything. Everything is a surprise catastrophe. We had no idea this was going to happen. We are not prepared for it. Hurry up and go to Walmart. You know what I'm saying? And it's always going to be that cycle in your life, which is little baby scales, until you take a couple steps back and look at the big picture and say, oh, this is the cycle of the netters. This is what nature does. Granted, we do have some people out there that are intentionally doing some things, and go ahead, Saturn gonna get that ass eat, and Pluto gonna get that ass too. But Pluto is doing her thing. She washing things out. You know, you see Pisces, Neptune, Olukun doing their thing. You know, people going to the bottom of the ocean and fucking around and finding out. Olukun don't play that shit. But Oya is not playing that either, and these storms and stuff like that, you know, so get out of her way. Pluto is the energy of transformation, death, and rebirth at the extreme level. It's not no little baby tap on the hand the way, you know, Pisces is going to give it to you sometimes. You know, it's fire and brimstone. It's hurricanes. It's hailstorms. That's what it is. You know, I won't say drowning is peaceful, but you get where I'm going. Like, in terms of movement, it's a lot less movement going on in Olukun than there is with Oya. And that's what she does. She brings transformation at the extreme level. So she brought transformation to the social awareness in Aquarius. So that created a sense of detachment and aha moments for a lot of our youth when Pluto first entered Aquarius. Also, a lot of y'all feel shadows and things because a lot of y'all are very much in tune with y'all Piscean energy and y'all just y'all divine feminine, since Aries been in Aries. You know what I'm saying? So having that realization, a lot of you guys are feeling Pluto in Aquarius maybe a year or so before Pluto even entered Aquarius and started having these social awarenesses like, yo, why do you treat these certain kind of people this way? Or I'm not really a national or ethnicity or whatever. I'm more so a tribal person. You know, I would rather align with like energies. A lot of y'all be around skin folk and wonder why like your soul is triggered. And that's because we have generational DNA exchanges, you know. you might can't put the words to it, but you could be in a room full of people that's the same, quote unquote ethnicity or nationality or race as you, because that's how the oppressor grouped us. But you feel a sense of animosity and distrust, and you just don't like it here. And it's because y'all not from the same tribe. And at some point in time, y'all probably were like, rivalry tribes or something like that. We don't be putting that stuff in consideration because we like to glamorize, and, Hollywood just, shows that we just did no wrong once upon. We never did anything wrong until the oppressor came and it got terrible. Like, that makes no sense. Like, grow up. Do your shadow work, please. Everybody did wrong shit. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. Otherwise, the pendulum would not have swung the way it did the last time Pluto was in Capricorn Aquarius. And it swung this way last time that happened in 1775. You know what I'm saying? So you got to grow up. It was some stuff that was happening during that period of time that was not kosher. It should not have been happening. Okay? So the pendulum swung. We're here now. The pendulum is swinging again. Where is it going to swing? It's up to y'all. It's up to us as a collective. How is it swinging? And how are we going to keep it swinging? You can change the direction of it. You can't stop the pendulum from swinging, but you can change the direction in which it swings. You can swing both sides, could be beneficial to you if you allow it to be. You know what I'm saying? So you have transformation happening to the social awareness, death and rebirth and stuff. A lot of y'all getting rid of old friends, bringing in new friends, new prerequisites to people getting into your personal space, etc., etc. Transformations to like your empowerment when you insert certain circles, how you express yourself in those realms with confidence and bravery and all that stuff. And then when we went to retrograde, eventually we went back into Capricorn. So, we got to dip our toe in Aquarius, and we'll be back in Aquarius. I want to say November 2024, because if we keep dealing with the retrograde, the Pluto retrograde is usually about 6 months. So we'll be officially in there in January 2024. And that's when they set the new president in the White House. It's different alignments like that you got to think about. And that's when Pluto will be back in Aquarius, more social awareness, Aquarius energy is also the energy of the revolutionary war. Like, you're crazy if you think that our forefathers and mothers did not care about astrology and aligning themselves with charts and shit. They knew about the science and the art, not just the science. See, y'all only been taught the science in school. They took the art out. Remember how you're starving artists. They taught us how to depress our feminine energy. Art is the feminine energy. Science is the masculine energy. You get what I'm saying? They took the art out of it. So now we're bringing the art back into the science. You don't separate the science. Don't just bring art and no science. That's not what I'm saying. You need art and science. So you need astronomy and astrology. You know what I'm saying? You need the law of physics and the spiritual laws. You know what I'm saying? Those go hand in hand. You can't just have one without the other. Well, you can, but good luck with, your survival skills if you're doing that. Anyway, Pluto right now is creating transformation in our Capricorn. So transformations is happening in your infrastructure, how you go about doing things, your basic resources. A lot of y'all quitting these jobs. A lot of you guys having career moves, career changes the heart with your work ethic, change your heart in your disciplinarian realms, how you discipline yourself and other people around you. If you're a parent or, a teacher or whatever. No, you can't do art without science. You're absolutely right. You cannot. And if you do, it's going to be scribble scrabble. Like how some people build these roads out here. But yeah, we're creating transformation in your basic resources. A lot of y'all going back to, I want to grow my own food and I want to barter with my neighbors. Me personally, that's what I want to do. I've been watching videos on how to plant all these flax seeds and turn it into linen and then weave the linen. I want to do that. I want to make my own clothing from scratch. I want to make my own body products and my own healing products from scratch. I want to make my own medicine from scratch. I want to tell my kids, go outside and pick the peppers and onions that I need to put in dinner tonight. Like, that's what I want to do. That's how I want to live. I want to be able to go next door and be like, well, she got these kind of chickens over there and they lay around this season. And I got these chickens over here and they only lay around this season. So now, we have a harmony here. There's Libra scales here. We always got eggs if we need them. Now, I don't really eat eggs like that. I haven't really had eggs in months. I'm very proud to say that. That would make me feel good. Now, I've been learning how to live without certain things too. Learning how to live without certain things in my diet. As far as entertainment goes, we've been collecting books out the asshole. We got a nice little library happening over here. just like a lot of little different things. And that's, a lot of Pluto creating a transformation in your Capricorn, in your infrastructure, in your discipline and order, And then remember, if you're one of those hard-headed people, you know, a lot of those transformations is going to come in a very extreme manner that could be traumatic. Like I got hit by a car twice. Well, one time my car got hit by a car, and now my leg got hit by a car. So don't be hard-headed like me. You know, create transformations on your own time. And I know that was Pluto because it happened on Halloween, and then it happened on 8th and Market. And you know, Oya is the goddess of the marketplace as well as associated with the number 8. So like I know that was some Pluto shit. Like, girl, I told you. And then I was trying to think, what's 2022? That's 2, 4, 6, 8. No, that's 10. That's completion back into the 1. So I don't know who did it on 2/2/22. That was when the first car accident happened. But yeah. Coming back, transformations in our root chakra is happening thanks to Pluto, and it's also happening on the earth as we know it, because Capricorn rules over the earth, you know, the firmament and stuff like that. So just being in alignment with that, seeing how the storms and how the water, it's just water, period. You gotta watch the water. It's gonna be certain areas, the news is gonna deliver it to you like, oh my god, the water is flooding over here, we're dying, the world is ending, global warming. No, the poles are shifting, and when poles shift, just like when you tip a hourglass over to another side, what happens is the sand starts to go on that side instead of on this side. So in certain realms, you're going to see more land come up. There's going to be more land coming up. I'm letting y'all know right now, especially on the other side of the Canada, Antarctica ice walls, you're going to see more land. More land is going to start to reveal itself because that ice is over there melting. And while that ice is over there melting, all that water and shit y'all swear up and down y'all don't got is going to flood in other areas. Now, y'all got to learn how to be in control of your own reality and stop letting these corporations tell y'all what to do. They really playing with y'all like Barbies. They're really playing Barbies with y'all, and y'all letting them. So, you know, you got to say, okay, well, if I know that's what's happening here and over there, this is where I want to be to wait it out. And this is where I want to go once it's done. And I'm going, like, you have to have your own plan instead of watching TV or going on social media, waiting for someone to create a plan for you. And that's what Oya also rules over the solar plexus chakra as well. And she wants to bring that solar plexus chakra energy down to your root chakra. Empower yourself. What the fuck? Why are y'all so needy and relying on other people to do what y'all should be doing for yourselves? Like, it's called interdependence, not codependence. And codependence doesn't just go for like romantic relationships. Codependence also applies to how y'all been dependent on these corporations for everything. Y'all been very codependent on these corporations, and they get mad when they treat you any kind of a way. Well, they don't need you. You need them. They do need you. But the way y'all move, y'all act like y'all don't have no power. And y'all got the most power. So, like, get it together. And I mean now. But I'm going to pull a card for this Pluto and our root chakra going back and forth. I love it here. Also, to let y'all know, we had a draconic reset. You know, our North Node and South Node have gone back to Aries and Libra. I don't know if y'all felt that. I don't know if y'all been tapping into y'all draconic charts, but you might see your progressive chart start to align more with your draconic chart. You might feel yourself align more with your draconic chart as Pluto is in our root chakra right now. If y'all need a draconic chart reading, reach out to your girl, because those are my favorite charts to read. I read all of them, but I love that one. Like all of my Virgo placements are actually Scorpio placements. So my Sun, Moon, Mercury, and Venus are all in Scorpio, and the draconic chart deals with your soul and your Akashic records and the underlying energy of your thoughts, which is the tropical, and your vibration, which is the Vedic. So, you know, I'm going to pull a card for Pluto now in the root chakra. We have a reverse Two of Cups. So we're not there yet, but we're going to get there in that harmony, you know, between the Aquarius energy and that Capricorn energy, the physical and non-physical of the root chakra. You know, Aquarius energy is the thoughts of the root chakra, and then the Capricorn energy is the actually building and manifesting of that chakra. And then it's in water. So, you know, Pluto's creating transformations here. It's in reverse. So we're not done with the transformations. We're not done. We're not finished yet. Oh, actually, no, it's not in reverse. It's upright. I was tripping. Anyway, I was looking at it how I wanted to look at it. It's upright. So we are in the process of doing that. We are in the process of, you know, experiencing those transformations, you know, with the masculine and feminine energy, the internal and external energy of our root chakra. So kudos to us, you know, just be open to it and know that it's going to create transformations in all spaces of comfort. Trust, my spaces of comfort are being transformed too. I'm not comfortable. It's not easy, but it's what we ask for. And, you know, you got to trust that it's happening in your favor. If your sun is in Scorpio, So with your sun is in Capricorn. With your sun in Capricorn, you may be feeling these transformations in a lot of your experiences, because the sun deals with your experiences. Your rising sign is who you really are. Your rising sign is who you are, the energy you give off in a room, your temperament, your impressions. Whereas the sun is your experiences, the simulation. And then the moon is your experience, what's going on in the inside mind. So your experiences have been probably like very extreme, a lot of transformations going on, whether they're transformations that you're creating in other people's lives or transformations that people are creating in your life, but it's happening in a very extreme manner. I have a lot of my external planets in Capricorn. My Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune are all in Capricorn. So those are my external interpersonal planets with other people. And then they're in the 5th house. So a lot of transformations happening with my inner child and my relationship with my inner child, especially as I start to like hug on my Leo side of myself a lot more on the Vedic scale and stuff like that, my rising sign and stuff like that. It's been a really dope experience. I love it here. So that's what I have for Pluto. Okay, Danielle, you want a card? All right, I'm going to pull a card for you, Danielle. Your divinity number is 8. That's love. So you are the energy of the infinite. 8 is also the sign of infinity sign, transformations, extremities there, because you see how the 8 is sideways. Those are high highs and low lows. And when you in the middle, barely. You barely in the middle. You get like 2 seconds of before you go up the roller coaster again. And that's the energy of the 8s, man. That's definitely the energy of the 8. It's fun there, but it can be very tiring. Like, I don't know if you guys are into astrocartography, but I'm only in my Pluto placement over here. I gotta get from over here because it's just like a lot of trauma. And then being a Leo rising, it feels way more dramatic than what it should be. But like, it just feels like a lot of drama, a lot of trauma. I won't say I'm not having a good time, because I am having a good time, but at the same token, help me. Help. All right, Dario. Oh, we got the Emperor for you, sis. So you've been standing on your stuff. You definitely been standing on your stuff. You've been standing on your own too. Really getting the things that you need to get, being in charge of your reality. Strong energy here. However, it's also a very masculine energy here. So a lot of creation. A lot of like, this is mine. I'm building it. I'm working it. I'm creating. I'm doing what I need to do. So I'm here for this. This is nice. This is very like, you in charge, sis. You in charge. You doing it. You standing in your power. My man's is up here. He got the sun underneath his palm, the Ankh on his one side. Got the angel wings behind him, the halo. We just really out here being in control and being calm, cool, and in control. Like it's no like, I won't say negative energy, but it's no like spiteful energy. It's no like, whatever, type of energy or whatever. It's you where you're supposed to be. My bad. I don't mean to be so low. That's my so when we have Mercury retrogrades, my technology be like, yeah, we gonna be the one to give you the hard time. And I've gotten so used to it. I don't care. My bad. Gemini, Virgo. Ooh, you are a thinker. I love that. Yeah, because Virgo energy is a workaholic energy. You just keep going. It's not really much stopping. Peace. If you would like a card pull for you, then just go ahead and comment below. Yeah, see, I'm a Leo rising, Virgo sun, Virgo moon. My Mars is in Gemini though, and my Vesta, my passion space, is also in Gemini. So like, I get it. I'm definitely a workaholic. I'm learning how to like slow down, and that's because these last couple accidents I had put me in a space where I didn't really have much of a choice but to slow down. And even then, so I still don't really totally slow down. I just learned how to compartmentalize tasks. But I do have a lot of moments where I'm just like, all right, it's sit down time, Nika. You're welcome, love. Superman has always been my favorite. The S symbol, the chest symbol, all that stuff like that. That's I've always been into that. How do you find out what's in your chart? So there's a couple different apps that you can use also, as well as websites, or you could just come to me for a reading. I do natal readings for 33, starting at 33. Whether you just want a voice note or you want like a whole presentation set up so that you can align your the natal chart that I create for you. You can align that with the planetary forecast that I do. The next planetary forecast is on the 30th too, guys. I just wanted to let y'all know. That's when we have our blue moon, which is, you know, having 2 full moons within 30 days. So we have a blue moon this month. So I'll be doing the planetary forecast then. But yeah, so some of the websites you can use is Astro Seek. That's one of them. Astro Dientis is another one. Astro Matrix is a good app to use. You can always put in just like natal chart. I like Astro Cafe. It's cool, but I don't like the descriptions too much that they have. It seems like they created that website years ago and they just never updated it or played around with the kinks and stuff. So a lot of those explanations to the different placements are kind of like off, or very like vague, confusing vague. So I would be careful with the Astro Cafe one, but the rest of them, yeah. Yeah, when I get really activated like I am today, the sun gets hotter, so I try to tone it down before I burn the world up. Oh, yeah. I know how that goes. I know how that goes terribly. I'm trying to get me and my Capricorn back together because we starting to fall apart a little bit. But it's cool because September is here, and this is a good space where I feel very comfortable on like really like honing in on my self-discipline and getting my Capricorn back in order. Hey, Doris, peace. Oh, and I saw your donation. Thank you. I appreciate you. Are you saying yes because you would like a card reading pull for you? Let me know because I'll pull a card for you, my love. Try them all and compare. Yeah. Try them all and compare and contrast because that's what I did when I first started out. I would just go on Google and type in like natal chart and all the websites. I put my natal chart in all the websites. And I would just compare and contrast because the numbers next to your planets matter too. You know, that's when you get into numerology. You can also get into the gematria of the names of the planets and the zodiacs and all that stuff like that too. So, you know, that's what I do. And that's what I do when I do y'all readings too. I compare and contrast a bunch of different charts together and then I, you know, come up with the medium. As you was writing Astro. Yeah, because the paper, no. Astro Cafe, I ain't really a big fan of them. My bad. That was probably my energy. No, you need a natal chart, but a printout. Oh, okay. I mean, I can create I do have a printout that I do when I like go to people's events and say I'm doing like a room full of people's natal charts at the same time. I do have a printout that I can, you know, provide for you, you know, like that. That's doable. I can do that for you, sir. So we did Pluto. Who else we got in retrograde? We did Saturn, Neptune, Pluto, Aries, Chiron, Venus. So I guess now we could talk about Mercury. Mercury going in retrograde, right? So Mercury's retrograde started today. Happy Mercury retrograde. And this is cool because it's the retrograde started today. It's Wednesday. You know, Wednesday is ruled by Eshu, which is, you know, Papa Legba, Ilegwa, which also rules over the throat chakra, which also rules over Virgo energy. So it's also the first day of the tropical Virgo energy on a Wednesday and the first day of the Mercury retrograde. It's a beautiful day to be a Virgo or a Gemini, I'm telling you. We love it here. We're having a great time. I'm having a great time. I had a great day today. With Mercury, like I said, with all retrogrades, it's just the mindset that Earth moves really fast and Earth is pretty close to the sun compared to external planets and internal planets. So what happens is at a certain space in a planet's orbit or a celestial body's orbit, it gets into like this slow area and it starts to move a little bit slower. Like the plasma is thicker in that area or something. There's some buildup there, a little cholesterol in that orbit, that specific orbit space. And so what happens is because Earth is moving so fast while they're moving so slow, it appears to be moving backwards up against our skies. Because when we talk about tropical and Vedic and all that stuff, we're really talking about the zenith of self. And that's why a lot of this has to do with self and your personal electromagnetic energy and the electromagnetic energy of the collective. Now, when I say zenith, what I mean is your pole, your personal pole that comes from the top, the middle of your head, you know, and but and it comes down and it goes down to your, in between was at the gooch. So from there to there, and you can get into like the levels of Christ consciousness and how, I listened to this really dope TikTok video and I looked it up because I'm a dork and I went on my own little spiral and it was amazing and it was real. So getting into like the Christ consciousness and how it's really like an oil you get anointed with. So this goddess aligned it with the fact that whenever the moon is in your natal space, like for me, whenever the moon is in Leo, Virgo, I feel amazing. I want like to hug the world. I love it here. I get so much done. I'm so organized. Shit gets cleaned. Like it's just amazing. And then once it gets to like Libra, Scorpio, I get depressed or angry. But that's neither here nor there. So what happens is during that period of time, it's kind of like, have you ever seen those jellyfishes where it looks like the matrix is happening around them, like coming down their body? That's essentially what happens to you when the moon is in your sun space, right? Your natal sun space. So you get like these like matrix energies coming down you. And it's really like, just like an anointing of like the moon being in that space. The moon is a magnet for water or whatever. So it like makes this like oil that comes down, goes to your solar plexus. It comes together as a seed. And the seed like secretes oil through, whether it's, your vagina, we look at it as discharge or whatever, or your penis discharge or whatever, but it's really an oil. And in my mind, I had a joke and I was like, oh, that's where they get baby oil from. They do this shit to babies. But I realized that was a bad joke. And that's why I said it in my head. And now I say it here. But yeah, I found that so interesting. So where was I going with this? I don't fucking know. But I thought that was a really cool point. And I thought that was very interesting. Now, what was we talking about? We were talking about Mercury going in retrograde. Boom. Let's talk about it. So what happens is like this, it appears to be moving backwards or whatever. We know Mercury rules over the throat chakra. So the throat chakra is in alignment with how you communicate, how you listen, how you teach, how you learn, self-organization, time organization, self-management, being of service to other people. Mercury right now is in its home space of Virgo. So a lot of wanting to be of service. If you guys are into agriculture, it's definitely a good time to start playing with your soil, getting ready to like sow certain seeds, start pulling out those autumn seeds, the pumpkins and the squashes and things, all those different things. And then also patterns. Mercury deals with patterns, the awareness of patterns, because it deals with learning and we learn things in patterns. So, it being in Virgo energy is like a heightened awareness of patterns, because that's also the energy of the overthinker. Virgo constellation is the biggest constellation that we have in our sky, as we know it. And this constellation has like a couple of black holes, nothing too crazy, some galaxies, some nebulas, but it's the only constellation that has so many dense celestial bodies. And that's where a lot of that overthinking, overanalyzing, and perfectionism energy comes from, because this constellation literally has everything, even, solar systems, with Spica and Parima, those stars have their, own, planetary systems around them wherever they are. And they're all, with Virgo. And that's where a lot of those characteristics of Virgo come from. And so you have Mercury sitting in its home, zodiac energy with this. So a lot of, thinking again. And then it's cool because we're in the space of, school getting started up. You had Mercury in the beginning of August enter the Virgo zodiac energy. So that's for the kids that started school, in August. And now you have it in retrograde. So now you got to get ready for the kids that's entering, school in September, getting ready for this pattern again, the self-management, the time management, self-organization and stuff like that. What are y'all doing? How y'all teaching, how y'all learning and stuff like that. A lot of people are doing different things this year, whether it's the teachers in the school system or it's parents at home, choosing to homeschool their children, choosing to do certain things, certain kind of way. I say kudos to all of y'all, no matter what direction y'all want to go to, like, as long as you're in charge of your reality and you feel empowered in your reality, do what you want to do. But that's what Mercury in retrograde is doing. This is also a space of communication. So you'll find, different people that you have communicated with before probably pop back up in the realms of communication and energy exchange to see if you're capable of listening different or communicating different, or if they're capable of listening different or communicating different, and you have to have that level of awareness and empowerment to, be able to say, hey, I didn't really care for that energy exchange, happening the second time around. Fuck that. This is also a time where our communication devices usually need to be upgraded or they start glitching. As y'all know, like I told y'all before, my electronics start acting up around this time. I don't really care that much. But yeah, so that's what's happening when Mercury's in retrograde. If y'all got any more questions about that, because I know Mercury retrograde is a big thing. It's a big joke to people, but it's also a big, like, what is this? What is happening? Whatever. Feel free to ask. Also, welcome to the new people in here. If you would like a card pull for you, let me know. And I'll pull a card. So we're going to pull a card for the Mercury retrograde. And just to let you know, Mercury is in retrograde starting today until September 14th. And then again, because, Mercury goes in retrograde 4 times a year. So the last retrograde of this year will be from December 13th to January 1st. So we literally taking a year out with Mercury in retrograde. And again, I'm still doing retrograde readings. So if y'all interested in having a retrograde reading, what I do is I take your natal chart and I align it with the different transit celestial bodies that are in retrograde, and I give you a reading based off the alignments. So let's pull a card. We got a reverse 3 of swords. Ooh, that's interesting. 3 is the number of Gemini. We're talking about the community there and communication and the neighbors and, immediate relatives and all that stuff like that. So a lot of wounds here being reopened, definitely a lot of wounds here being reopened. You see this individual has a sword that, they stand behind, which is a wound. The swords are wounds or whatever. So they're sitting behind a wound and they're pointing their wound out. So they transmuted that wound into a weapon. You know what I'm saying? And so some of you guys are utilizing your wounds as a weapon. And yeah, it's empowering you, but is it empowering you with the correct energy? You want to be empowered with the correct energy. You want, it's not always love and light and stuff like that, because I know some of you guys are left-handed too. I'm ambidextrous. I make that joke a lot, but I really am. The more I see how the love and light community works, the more I realize I'm both. But yeah, so you don't want to be walking around with your wounds making all the decisions. Go back to the Aries, the new beginnings on the Chiron and the Aries energy. Unless you were born before 1925, 10 times out of 10, your Aries is also in Aries on the tropical chart. What comes before Aries? It's Pisces, right? Pisces on the Vedic chart. That's most likely like your placement or whatever. So, you want to tap into your Chiron placement. Like my Chiron placement is in Cancer. I got stories, but that's where my wounds lie, in the Cancer energy. And so I'm learning to not move in my wounds. And yeah, it's empowering. You have that mindset where I want to do what the women in my life didn't do for me. And it's always what the women in my life didn't do and what my home and family doesn't do. And when you keep moving like that, it's kind of difficult to accept that you don't live in that reality anymore, to keep thinking like that, because that's still spiteful thinking. As positive as you may think it is, and and again, I'm not judging y'all, because like I've just said, this is how I'm healing. As much as you think that that's like the way to go about doing things, it still puts you in positions where you're constantly being tested in that wound. You're still in that wounded space. You want to remove yourself from, you want to grow out of the wound. You don't want to stay in the wounded space and just play around with the wound. Well, I can play with the wound like this. It's still a wound. You can still infect it. Doesn't matter how you play with it. You want to heal it and move on from it. That means that it's still existing in your algorithm, because that's just how we move. But y'all get what I'm saying. You're not going to like walking around saying spiteful stuff because of other things. It doesn't work. It's kind of like in the dating or the friendship realm. I'm going to treat y'all how the mean girls treated me when I was younger, because, I'm still in that wounded space and everything I do is in spite of them. So it's like, I wanted a business and they didn't, and they thought it was funny and they were laughing at me. So now that I'm around these women that do the same exact thing I do, I'm looking at them like they're my competition because, I'm still in that wounded space. I'm still doing things in spite of. So I have to defeat y'all to show them, who are probably not even really thinking about me or worried about me, that I can do it. That's what it's like to still be from a wounded space. Like when you're dating someone and you're like, oh, are you still trying to be spiteful to the past partner you had? Like, oh, well, this person, he doesn't talk to me the way that person talked to me. He doesn't do this the way that person did. He doesn't do this, that person. Like you keep it mentally, you might not always verbally say it to that partner or whatever, but mentally you keep going back to that space of what the other partner didn't do, And so now you're only with this person because they don't do what the other partner used to do. And then when you finally get out of that wounded place, you realize this person not even who I should be growing with. This person isn't even in the space of my growth, but I'm so busy worried about not having what I used to have. I'm not even paying attention to what I need now. I'm just, you know what I'm saying? Like it's empowering, yes, but it's a false sense of empowerment, and we don't want to be in fallacy, so move that different. All right. So, and that's your lesson for this Mercury retrograde. When Mercury also rules over your integrity and your moral code. So, check your moral code and your integrity when you're in communication and energy exchanges with other people, places, and things and stuff like that. Like, am I coming from a wounded place with this boundary or this situation or whatever? Or is it malleable? Different things like that. Have those conversations. And if you're totally comfortable with your stuff and how things are going and stuff like that, then fuck it. Like, be comfortable. There's nothing wrong with that either. But I'm just saying, for those of you guys that are still like, trying to work on this space, like, you got it too. So that's Mercury retrograde. Now the next retrograde that we have after this is Uranus. Uranus goes into retrograde next week, August 29th, and it'll be in retrograde until January 27th. So yeah, we have about 4 or 5 months of Uranus being in retrograde. Now Uranus is a really big planet. It's a very strong planet. Uranus has been in Taurus since 2018 or 19. That's when we first went into punishment, where like our pentacles completely changed how we were getting paid. A lot of people were getting like PPP loans and unemployment. People were getting, just paid out the a-hole, rent, payments and different bills were put on pause. People were changing how they accumulated their wealth. A lot of people went virtual and started using social media platform. A lot of, people went to the entrepreneurial route. We had, I hate the fact that we had Black Tuesday because that's the energy of Ogun and what the fuck. But like at the same token, it was like, okay, when you think about the story of Ogun, I like it. But then sometimes it's just like, that's another energy like this, the Three of Swords. Like, it's kind of like it's giving, I can't breathe. You're too busy trying to be spiteful and you're kind of missing the mark here. But yeah, Uranus being in Taurus has been wild. We've changed the way we socialize with each other, how you guys are dating, everything. A lot of stuff is virtual first for long periods, extended periods of time before it's in the physical. And I love that for y'all. Initially we had like 1 or 2 cryptocurrencies. Now we got thousands. We can't keep up with it. These larger corporations are killing people, knocking them off the monopoly board so they can have their Fed Reserve stuff. It's corporation crime happening all over the place. It's getting wild out here. We got the politicians glitching on stage. There's a lot of stuff happening with Uranus and Taurus. But what also is happening in Uranus and Taurus? Your ability to manifest and materialize, because that's what Taurus is about: materialization, wealth, love, compassion, and forgiveness. So we're moving a lot in that realm too, while Uranus is being rebellious and going against like the traditional sense of those realms. So a lot of you guys, find out where your Uranus is, and I let you know where the rebellious energy is and where you're going out against, different traditions in your life or whatever. But made me choke a little bit. But yeah, Uranus will be in Taurus. I know that started in 2018, right? Yeah, 19. I'm sorry. That was in 2019, March 15th, 2019, and I'll be going on until April 26th, 2026. So we have about 3 more years. 2-3 more years of Uranus and this Taurus energy creating these transformations here. And to let y'all know, like, Uranus is still in between Aries and Taurus on the Vedic chart as well. So then we'll have additional, years put upon that on the Vedic side as well. So, it's going to be very interesting. Especially when Uranus enters Gemini. And I swear up and down, when Uranus enters Gemini, we're gonna be so fucking telepathic, it's gonna be wild. I think that at that time, like, our train system, like, I remember overseas in like Europe or Japan, they had like the really fast train that was taking place in like 15 minutes. I think that people are going to open up, especially as, like I told y'all, the land is going to start opening up as Pluto keeps making those transformations in the root chakra. I think as that happens, like, the admittance of different portals is going to start happening. Like, I don't know if y'all seen Labrea yet. I keep telling y'all, go watch it. Labrea. These people fall into a sinkhole and they fall into another space and time. And it's like so many different elements, in that realm that are really cool. In fact, I'm see if I can make my son watch it with me later, because we got a few more episodes to watch. But it's going to be more admittance to those different portals that you can go through. And I'm like, yo, put me in an Airbus in that motherfucking portal. You heard me. And I really feel like that's Uranus and Gemini. Also changing how we look, how we learn. I don't know if y'all noticed them kids in Japan wearing them head pieces on their head to show if they paying attention. Like, they really got I remember telling y'all about like 5-6 years ago about the transcranial helmet that they were practicing on the military. And what happened is this helmet that they would wear, and it would control their brains. Like, if they were sitting watching, they were falling asleep and dozing off, the helmet would activate and make them alert. It would kind of do the controlling for them. It was kind of like the chum bucket hats or whatever. And this is something they were doing in the military. They got these college kids out in Arizona and Texas, doing the technology or whatever for it. And that was like 5-6 years ago. And now you see these children and in these Asian countries wearing something similar on their heads, letting the teacher know if they're paying attention or not, or if they're distracted. Like, how dare you enter my brain and know that I'm singing the theme song of Power Rangers while you're teaching me mathematics? Don't do that. This is my motherfucking business over here. If I want to sing "This Is a Song That Never Ends" while you're over there talking about Pythagorean theorem, then that's my prerogative. I'll learn about Pythagorean theorem when I get home and do my homework. The fuck? Like, I think that's very invasive, but to each his own. Lots of transformations in how we communicate, local interconnectivity, travel, and how we interact with our community when Uranus enters Gemini. I'm here for it. I'm excited to see what happens. Depends on, what side of the pendulum you're on. That's really the biggest part of it. It's like, are you in control, or are you still letting these corporations control you? And that determines the kind of experience you're going to have under these stars. You know what I'm saying? So let's pull a card for Uranus going in retrograde in 6 days. We have the Page of Pentacles. Ooh. Mask off, taking the pentacles off of your face. And I love that, because I be telling y'all never seen money a day in your life. These are all debt notes. This ain't no real money, y'all. So, like, taking that mask off, that wealth, that Taurus energy, like all that materialism stuff off during this Uranus, I love that. That's nice confirmation to me in the 100 something planetary forecast I have done up until this day that have confirmed that, like, I'll be telling y'all, by the time Uranus exits out of Taurus on the tropical and Vedic chart, we will not be using money anymore. It will be like the energetic exchange or the barter system, bartership, because we will be more empowered to go back into our tribal ways, especially as y'all keep rebelling against the different stuff, that the different materials that have already been laid upon us. You know what I'm saying? So mask off, pentacles off, taking a lot of that Taurian energy that's been placed upon us off of us. That's what Uranus has in store for us in this retrograde. So you're going to be coming across some different experiences that are going to show you how much you need to rebel against certain traditions of Taurus that have been placed on us. Peace. If you like the card, put your name in the comments. I think I only have one more retrograde to address, and then I'm going to let y'all go. Last but most certainly not least, we have Jupiter. Now, Jupiter goes into retrograde from September 4th until December 31st. So we're taking that all the way up to New Year's Eve, and that's fun. Jupiter is the energy that rules over the sacral chakra of generosity. Jupiter is like, it's giving Obatala, like ho ho ho. We're generous, we're optimistic, we're giving, a lot of knowledge happening here, exchanging our philosophy, expanding our philosophies, higher education, foreign energy exchange, foreign intellectual exchange. It's kind of like beyond the master degree is Sagittarius. You know what I'm saying? So that's what Sagittarius energy is all about. It's a sense of joy there, that higher intellectual energy that's like very joyous. Ovatala is very often referred to as Santa Claus. That level of energy that Santa Claus has, that is the Obatala Jupiter type of energy that we have. And with that going in retrograde, I believe Jupiter is also in Taurus Aries energy, and that's fun. So with that energy happening in that realm of things, new beginnings to your intellect. Okay, we got a card falling out, and this is a reverse Queen of Pentacles. Ooh, there's some divine feminine energy out here being a little conniving with how they go about materializing. Hopefully deaf to that energy. Stop conniving and manipulating people to possessiveness and ownership of immaterial realms. I don't know. When I look at that card, I always think about female rap music right now. Like, this is definitely the reverse Queen of Pentacles. What the fuck are y'all talking about? But I still support all my queens, and I feel like I don't understand why I have to defend that. But I guess I guess like when people that listen to my music and see my podcast, yeah, I'm a very intellectual being. I was in my teens and 20s before, and granted, I'm not in this realm of putting everything that I do in my free time on social media, but like to think that I'm a non-sexual being because I'm spiritual is wild. That's wild, and I don't understand. Like, doesn't even make sense. None of us would be here without it. And then it's just like to project a certain kind of mentality on me that I can't support other women. Like, I can support women that are on the reverse side of the Queen of Pentacles. I don't feel the need to be conniving or manipulative to get people's possessions or materialize things. I actually don't like doing it. My Virgo energy just won't allow it. I'm just not one of those people. Karma hits me a lot very easily. It doesn't take much. So I don't play with karma. And I also don't play about myself and the thoughts that go on in my head when I feel like I'm using somebody. So I can't do it. At the same token, I know a lot of women who do. And I have been, friends with women. I have been associates with women, and guess what? Women come in all flavors and facets. And while I may not always support everything you do and everything you go for, I'm always going to root for you. You know what I'm saying? And I don't feel the need to defend that every time it's put on a hot seat. Like, why are you supporting this? Why are you supporting that? I support it. It doesn't mean I listen to it. I don't listen to these people. I don't watch their shows. I don't do any of that. But if I see someone growing, if I see people uniting, if I see feminine energy evolving and coming together, yeah, I'm going to support that shit. I don't care how much makeup and tattoos it has on it. I don't care how many curse words it comes out of. You know what I'm saying? Like that doesn't bother me. And then it's like this weird demonization of twerking. You gotta know twerking is a spiritual, it's spiritual. And it's also about cleansing your sacral chakra. Listen, every time I feel some type of way, I twerk. And it gets a lot of energy off of me. I'm not twerking on the camera, and I don't judge anybody who does. I don't give a fuck. Some people need an audience to feel good about themselves. Check they placements. They probably got shit in Leo. Leo love attention. I love attention. It's just a certain kind of attention I just don't like. But I love attention. Give it to me. But I don't need to do that shit in front of a camera. Do that. But like, I love all women, not just the women that look and act and talk like me. That's weird. That's weird to me to be like, oh, I only like these kind of, and I get that as a man that wants to date a certain kind of woman. Yeah, okay, you would only like a certain kind of woman, but to think that I have to be that way, like I'm not the mother. Like, a mother gives life to all facets, not just the ones that are appeasing that they want to date. A mother gives life to all of them, and so do fathers. But for some reason, fathers don't want to see life that way. They're not as inviting in that realm. There's always reasons to divide and stuff. And just to put me in a position where I feel like I have to defend that. No, you're not going to do that, because I did not over-explain myself to this person. I just deleted them as a friend. But like, I just felt like that was fucking weird. Like, I'm a whole woman. Do you really think that I'm over here, like, separating myself from other women because of their like candor and behavior? I'm not. That's weird, because there might be a day and time where they might be in a certain space of their healing, and here I am, not over here throwing my back at them because, ew, remember when you were twerking online? I can't help you. Like, that's weird, bro. Don't do that. On top of the fact that I have a lot of relatives that are younger than me that are in this, realm of music and different things like that. And what kind of fucking person would I be if I'd be like, oh, well, back to you because I'm doing this over there? Like, who's to say that what the fuck I'm doing is even perfect? Like, who's to say what I'm doing is so love and light? It's not. So to do that, to try to put me in that position, that's weird. I'm not a fan. And that's my Jupiter, and that's my Jupiter talk. Expand your horizon so you can stop trying to minimalize mine. The fuck? So let's actually pull a card for Jupiter. That one fell out, and that started a whole dialogue. Pulling the card out for Jupiter, we have the Six of Swords. So this is just, a backup singer to what I just said. 6 is the number of giving and creation, but in the realms of humanity and doing for others. Wanting to see the world be a better place. 6 is associated with Virgo energy. That's the energy of giving and of servitude, being of service to other people. And that's what Jupiter wants us to expand ourselves to. It's not just about you and the vision that you want to see and what looks good to you because that's what you want to date and sleep with. It's about all the facets here and how everybody's a reflection of God. From the homeless person outside to the stripper in the club to your high and mighty egotistical ass. They're all different factions and different representations of one whole being. So heal your wounds, says the sword card. Heal your wounds so that you may be of proper service and not being of service to people with that egotistical despite energy. Oh, I'm no longer dealing with these kind of people, so I'm not going to help heal these kind of people. Or if I'm around certain spiritual people that have those kind of traits, no, like, stop doing that. That's weird. Everybody is a reflection of God. Well, I won't keep saying the word God because I don't really like that word, but everybody is a reflection of one. We are a reflection, all reflection of one cosmic being, one cosmic energy, regardless of how much you love or like or dislike or hate the reflection that you're looking at in your space. If you want the higher being to embrace us all and to be in love with us all, including you have to learn how to do that for other souls too. I'm not saying you got to be chummy with everybody. Yes, have discernment. That's what the 6 wants to teach you too, because Virgos, we be wishy-washy with the boundaries because we be on that martyr shit. We love to give, and then we complain about it. And I'm learning how to, I'm getting over myself because I do love to give. And so I don't complain about giving, but I do complain about how I'm treated. I will complain about how I'm being treated back. But it's a journey there. It's a journey there for sunshine. This could be a journey there for you too. Like, if you love to give, if you love to do for people, if you this, that, and the third, stop giving it from a wounded place so you can stop complaining about how you give it. I got relatives that are Virgos that will give you the world and then call somebody, sit on the phone with them for hours about how all they do is give. But it's not fucking giving. Or keep it real with yourself that you actually give from your ego. You give from a wounded place and then you get upset because that's where it came from. So you're really mad at yourself. You're not mad at the people that are taking from you. You're mad at you because you keep giving from an empty, wounded, nasty cup. Stop it. So that's what I got for Jupiter. So those are all the retrogrades. Peace. Those are all the retrogrades. Now let's talk about this blue moon. So this blue moon is going to be in, I want to say Leo. But let me double check. And I just got done talking to y'all about how whenever the moon is in Virgo and Leo, sis, gay. I'm out here. I'm living my ass life. I'll see you later. But yeah, I know I wrote it down in my notes, but like, yes, the blue moon is August 29th and 30th. So we'll be in the waxing and waning with the moon. and it's going to be in Leo energy. So, Leo energy is in alignment with Orunmila. That's third eye. That's the external side of our simulation, and which what we create in our space. So that's pretty exciting. This is the energy of just this is the energy of energy. This is like bringing you up. This is the build up. This is the simulation. This is the space where you really can. No, I lied to y'all. It's not in Leo. So rewind everything I just said about Urmila. It's in Aquarius. We got the full moon in Aquarius. I wanted to be a Leo so bad. We had the new moon in Leo. And ain't none of y'all say nothing. Y'all just let me be up here and be wrong. The new moon was in Leo. But no, we are in the full moon of Aquarius, which is cool. That's a nice a story of completion because we started the month with the waxing and waning moon being between Aquarius and Capricorn. So ending the blue moon month with the moon being in Aquarius and Pisces is actually pretty dope. So we'll be waxing in Aquarius, so building up that social awareness, that social justice, that mindset. I believe that will be the only celestial body that we have in Aquarius at the moment because Pluto is still in a Capricorn. And then we'll be moving into waning, which is the space of cleansing and doing away as we make our way to the new moon, of course. So now as we're in waning, we go into Pisces. So now we're cleansing in the realms of our subconscious with that full moon energy on the 30th. So that's pretty cool. Social awareness and subconscious energy. So we're moving from the root chakra to the sacral chakra in that realm, both on the feminine side. Aquarius rules over the feminine side of the root chakra. Pisces rules over the feminine side of the sacral chakra. And if you want more information on this, enrollment for Let's Nobody's University starts in September. In addition to that, we'll be starting in November because in October, I'm actually making my way to Nobody's Land, Terra Nullius, and I'm very excited about that. So we'll start courses in November where I'll teach y'all in depth about the Kabbalah's Tree of Life and the Metu Netters and the 10 spheres and where I get all this information between the masculine and feminine sides of the chakras and the zodiacs and all that stuff like that. I'm going to teach y'all all of that in this course. But in this moment, space and time, the blue moon is doing its thug dizzle between the root and the sacral chakra. So you're going to find different levels of awareness and you guys rebelling against certain social circles and social norms and stuff like that. Because some of you guys turn spirituality into a religion. I ain't going to hold you. You can't do shit here. I feel like I'm back in church. And I don't even be doing nothing. Y'all make me feel like I can't even be cool with other people doing stuff. And I am cool because I'm not here to save the world. I'm here to do what I came here to do, which is, we tapping in with the Libra scales. So we here to harmonize, create harmony. No matter what you do, no matter who you are, you're never going to eradicate equal opposite energy. That's the law of physics. You're never going to eradicate that equal opposite energy. So your goal here for the sake of harmony and balance is to be you. Be you, do you. You want to be evolved and elevated and love and light 24/7, then do that. It's some people out here that want to be love and light and darkness and I don't know, and darkness and hate. I don't fucking know. and they create that balance there too. There's an equal opposite energy for them. And there's some people that just want to be straight in the dark. And there's equal opposite energy for them too. And you can't combat any of that. That's harmony. That's balance. Let that be what it's going to be. You're not here to save the world. You're here to save yourself. And as you save yourself, your electromagnetic energy does everything that you're trying to force yourself to do from this wounded place. Because that's all that is. Saving the world is this. That's literally all it is. Every superhero you ever watched that saves Metropolis or New York City or wherever the fuck, every fucking episode, they always saving the world from this place. Because then they go back into their space of, I'm really a dork that likes this girl that will never look at me. Oh, my parents died. Oh, my parents left me on a little seed ship and I just don't know who I am. They all are saving the world from a wounded place. You're not here to save the world, baby. You're here to get your electromagnetic energy fine-tuned, and as you do that, you attract the energy you're supposed to attract and have different energy exchanges you're supposed to have in alignment to where your energy is at that moment. Now, the more you evolve your personal energy, the more those exchanges are going to evolve with you. And if you like the way they're evolving, keep revolving that way. But if you don't like it, you have the power to be like, okay, we're going to make a left turn. We're going to get off at this exit and get on a different highway. You know, that's your capabilities. That's what you can do here. But to try to control other people's realms and what they're doing, you're no better than the oppressor. You're no better than. It's like you don't like oppression, but you want to go over here and sit on your podcast and sit on your platform and tell people what they can and can't do and what they can and can't like and stuff like that. Like, you know, at some point in time, you got to learn how to draw the line on yourself. And then it's crazy because the people that talk like that are usually the people that are always complaining about oppressors. And that's because look at your reflection. I don't feel oppressed. I don't feel oppressed in any realm of my life whatsoever. I never had an oppressor. Nobody never had their foot on my neck. You know, I've always been rebellious. I do what I want. That's my parents. Like, I give them a run for their money, and I still do. Like, nobody's ever oppressed me. Or, you know, I've had people try. I went to a predominantly, you know, Caucasian school, and I seen how they groom their children and how I went into those realms. And I was like, well, y'all not finna groom me, but I already know that I want to be a president. So I'm finna come in here and I'm going to groom myself to be what I want to be. And I felt that opposing energy. I felt how they were trying to keep me in a certain kind of place because they were trying to bring up other people. But to sit here and say they oppressed me, the fuck no, they didn't. No, they didn't. It was just different energy exchanges that I needed to have at that stage in time, because as I got older, it created a certain level of resilience in me that I got instilled with me when I was in elementary school, when I was in middle school, when I was in high school, and I was in these gifted and talented classes and had these teachers talking to me in a certain kind of way because my name is Unica, in a room full of Kimberlys and Michaels. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had that already. That never oppressed me. I don't got no woe it's me. If anything, it empowered me. It made me more hard-headed. You know, I ain't ashamed of that. So if you walking around letting experiences oppress you, and then you turn around always talking about an oppressor, but then you want to get on your podcast and tell people how they can wear their hair and nails and their clothes and what kind of music they listen to, that's why you experiencing what you experiencing. Because look at who you are. That's your reflection in your life. That's your reflection in your life. You get into people's space and say, oh, because I'm the oldest, or I'm the man and you're the woman and I'm this and you're that. I get to tell you what to do and you got to listen. You got to submit. You got to obey. And then turn around and say, these people over here trying to get me to submit all the time. They foot on my neck. Like, bro, that's a reflection of you. That's a reality you created and you deserve. So let that full moon in Aquarius give you that level of social awareness. You know, find out where you coming from when you go into certain spaces. Where is you coming from? What's the purpose of your energy right now? You know, how is your energy rubbing off on other people? Energy awareness is key, man. You don't know what kind of day or what kind of life people is having, and you just out here projecting your shit on everybody else because you the ruler, you the blueprint. Don't do that. That don't even make sense. Anyway, and then with the moon in Pisces, hopefully that shit embed in your subconscious and you get yourself together, because I don't got time for that, and nobody else does in your circle. A lot of times y'all be thinking y'all alone because y'all just better than everybody. In reality, y'all alone because y'all attitude fucking sucks and people don't want to be around that energy. Trust and believe. Been there already. Did that. And I'm not doing that again. I'm good off that. So here is the full moon card. We got the High Priestess. Ooh. We got the High Priestess, but we got her in reverse. So this is coming back. This is giving that energy of like, this was giving me that energy of the of that reverse Queen of Pentacles I pulled too. I ain't gonna hold y'all. But like, I know y'all can't see it because the background is crummy, and I promise y'all the next time I do this Hump Day reading, I will know better than to put this background here. I was just trying to promote the Cosmic Nobody's Convention. My bad, y'all. But like in the background, it's a bunch of masks. So this is like heavy Aquarius energy, also given at the colors. So these are different masks in your subconscious that you be wearing, that you put on when you in certain circles, but then also masks that you expect other people to wear when they in your space. Have this level of social awareness. Are you making people act a certain kind of way in your space? Like, you know, I understand you can have boundaries and stuff like that and different things, but if you're oppressing other people, you got to be aware of that too. You know, you gotta let people be them, especially if you put yourself in the space of a healer or a teacher. You know, I have been a substitute teacher off and on. I'm trying to get back on. We'll see how well that goes because they want me to get a shot. I ain't trying to, but you know, as a teacher, I'm in a classroom full of students. I can't make all the students in that classroom act a certain one way because that makes it easier for me to deal with them for the next 45 minutes to 8 hours, depends on what grade I'm teaching. You know, I can't do that. That doesn't make sense. Everybody has their own way of learning. Everybody has their own way of being. Everybody, down to the way they write with their pencil. Everybody has their own handwriting. You know, everybody has their own, sound in their voice, how they ask questions, etc., etc. You don't get to go in a classroom full of people and say, I'm the teacher, and y'all all have to act one way in order for me to teach y'all. Because that makes you a piss poor teacher. That doesn't make them bad students, you know? So have that level of social awareness when you're around other people. Really be aware of your energy and make sure you're not coming and healing people from this wounded space, because a lot of y'all are, and that's where a lot of them projections are coming from. That's where a lot of where that dank ass energy is coming from that y'all pouring on people, that you're trying to project on people. It's because you're trying to heal and give from a wounded space, in spite of whoever told you was wrong and you wouldn't be nothing and you ain't a good person. Don't do nothing in spite of nobody that made you feel a wound. Because you always going to be this reverse priestess. You always going to be this reverse pinnacle, acting like everybody is your competition, and people stole from you. This person stole this from me. So how can you turn around in one sentence and say we're all connected and we're all aligned and we all be getting the same downloads sometimes, etc., and then turn around and say somebody stole from you? Because you healing from a wounded place. That's why. There's billions of people in the world. Relax. That's what Uranus wants you to do. Take them pinnacles, take all that possession and materialism off your face and relax. So that's my retrograde reading for the collective. If you would like a personal retrograde reading, they are $33. I send you a nice little PowerPoint with my voice on it, and I have the little chakra situations down there, and you can get a retrograde reading. I also do natal chart readings for your tropical, your Vedic, and your draconic, whether it's natal or progressive. And I also do synastry readings, astrocartography readings. If you want to see your place on the map, some of you guys are getting into traveling, I can tell you where to go and where not to go real quick. I would love to help you. Allow me to help you. You can be open to me helping you. I can do a one-time reading, or I can do ongoing therapy sessions. It's up to you. And that's what I got for y'all. So I'm about to head out. I'm about to make my way over to Pornoia Starseed, because my sis Foxy Roxy up there, she live right now, and she got the goddess Claudia up there to teach y'all about human design. See, I'm not too versed on human design too well. So if y'all want to learn more about human design, which is a nice alignment between how I do my readings and aligning with their chakras, head over to her page, Pornoia Starseed on YouTube. All right, peace. Thank you.